Is evolution a problem for Christianity? Growing up, there was a big debate around evolution versus young earth creationism, and this debate still continues today. And as I've been reading through Tim Stratton's book on Molinism, the final chapter deals with arguments, apologetic arguments that are strengthened by Molinism. Now, one of the pushbacks that he brings up is that oftentimes people will confess that they left Christianity or they became an atheist because they felt that the evidence for evolution was overwhelming. Now, given Molinism, Tim argues that this shouldn't be a problem for the believer, that the believer is free to choose to believe in either a young earth creationist view, an evolutionist view, or what have you. And the reason for this, that Tim makes the argument in the book, is that on a Molinist worldview, God possesses middle knowledge, which means that he knows all counterfactuals, all possible scenarios of any world that he would create. And so if God chose to, not saying that he did choose to, but if God chose to utilize some means of an evolutionary process, then God could perfectly fine-tune those variables to bring about the world as we know it today. Now, with this in mind, he brings up an argument that I believe William Lane Craig used in a debate years ago with with Christopher Hitchens. Now, in this debate, Craig basically brings up the fine-tuning of the universe and speaks of all these very fine-tuned variables that if they were any different, he, I think, uses the term a hair's breadth away from what they are, the universe couldn't exist in the way that it does currently. Now, that's not to say that the universe couldn't have been something different, but that the way it is could not be if those variables weren't finely tuned. Now, the way growing up I often saw this was presented from the young earth creationist view that would say, see, if evolution was true, these things could not be. But the point Craig made in this debate is that even for the atheist, this is a problem. Because if evolution is true, the only way that it could be is through a literal miracle. Now, this just strengthens the Christian's defense of Christianity. Because whether or not you believe in an evolutionary view of creation, or if you believe in a young earth view of creation, either way it requires a miracle of God. And so this answers the question of whether or not evolution is a problem. Now, Tim makes it very clear in the book that he's not advocating for an evolutionary view of creation. The point he's making is that this should not be a problem for the Christian. If you choose to believe in a young earth creationist view or an evolutionary view, you cannot escape the miracle at play here. And I can't believe I had never thought of this because, like I said, growing up, this debate honestly was a pretty big issue within like youth group and even before youth group, 5th, 6th grade. This was a really big issue, and I had never heard this approach that Tim Stratton brings up in this book, that evolution is not a solution for the atheist as an answer away from God or apart from God. In reality, this is a problem, that if evolution is true, they need to explain how evolution resulted in such a finely tuned universe. And really, it does require a miracle. And I'm going to read you a quote from the book. Evolution really is not a reason not to believe in God. If God is omnipotent and omniscient, logically prior to his creative decree, then creating the world and man via evolution is no problem for God. Could it not be that what appears to be random or by chance to humans is actually precisely the perfect plan of God's intelligently designed and finely tuned initial conditions of the Big Bang? Now, he uses this as an argument that you can take away the problem of evolution from the skeptic and move on to apologetic and evangelistic arguments for the existence of Christ, his resurrection, the reliability of the scriptures and what have you. But I just found this fascinating. So anyway, that's my video for today. I hope you guys are benefited by this and blessed by this. If you have pushback, if you think that this argument fails in some way, by all means leave a comment or what have you. And if you like this video, be sure to share it with a friend, a coworker, a relative, you name it. And if you like the content I'm producing here, be sure to subscribe. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.